It's the beginning of 2025, but we continue to see layoffs, slow down in the market, especially in the technology space. There is so much confusion and there is so much change which has been happening in the market. AI is all over the news. Executives don't know where to invest. Typical tech guy is at the crossroads. So in this video, I'm going to talk about those 5 skills where you really have to invest your time to become more valuable for this year and for next few years to come. Number 1, technology. Number 2, industry domain. Third, business domain. Fourth, soft skills. And fifth, understanding the lay of land. So let's go understand each of them one by one. Let's understand technology first. You could be in any role, but technology is front, right, and center. Within tech, here are few things what you must understand. Number 1, cloud technologies. Absolutely fundamental. Anything you do in the industry, you will be using infrastructure, and cloud is nothing but infrastructure. The joke is that it is computer you've rented or computer what you do not own. So cloud is fundamental. You have to understand the basics of cloud from AWS or Azure or Google, and if possible across all of them, and the industry jargon as a whole. 2 is cybersecurity. One cyber attack can take away the entire business. We've seen companies completely brought down. The stakes are very, very, very high if a company is hacked. What do you tell your stakeholders and shareholders? How do you make sure that you get your systems back? How do you make sure that you pay for all the damages and bring the trust back? How does it impact us? You may be in any role. Make sure that you understand the implication of cybersecurity as a whole. If you're building a web application, what is the importance of security in a web application? If you're building a CRM system, how do you secure the data which is stored in the CRM system? Always understand the implication of cybersecurity as a whole for your project, for the work you're doing, and for the customer you're working with. Third is data science and analytics. Today, with LLM models coming out, data science is actually progressing at a much faster speed. What does it mean for you? You must understand or at least dip your toes in the world of data. There are so many disciplines in data. You could go into data engineering, where you look at pipelines. How do you bring data from different systems? How do you unify them, create rules around it? How do you set up data governance? And how do you land in a single place, which is called single source of truth in the data pipeline or the data jargon. The second piece is the whole analysis and reporting piece of it. The data is sitting somewhere. How do you make use of that data? How do you analyze that data? How do you drive insights out of this data? The third piece, which is on the cutting edge and generally on the front, is the data science piece. Having background in data science is very, very important. And lastly, most important, is to align yourself to a platform. There are tons of good platforms and companies which have built strategy 360 degree. Salesforce has gone in from just a CRM company to digital commerce to basically enterprising or wrapping themselves around the complete enterprise. So pick a company where you are really aligned to their platform. SAP has its own roots in an enterprise very, very strongly. The guys who are in SAP can stay there the whole life, but technology transforms even within SAP also. So you have to align yourself into the best platforms and really be part of that platform. Now you may say, Saurabh, I already work in one of these areas. And if that be the case, good for you. But a lot of people I see are still working in technologies from the past. I come from digital commerce background. I've been there 10 years back, but I still see a lot of people still working on similar projects, same type of support work, production support, building digital commerce applications and things like that. No hate towards them, but you also have to see what is coming next in the next 10 years. This video is 100% focused on those people who are really serious about building a career. If you are going towards your retirement, or if you want to get out of the industry, these points are not really for you. I hope you don't take what I'm saying in the wrong way. My intent is absolutely no hate for any particular technology, but the whole idea should be, how do you upskill yourself? How do you work on things which are on the cutting edge? And there is always a path for you to transition into that. Number one thing what you need is have the intention to move there. Be a little more uncomfortable. The second aspect is to align yourself into some level of industry expertise. When I started my career earlier, people would easily label themselves as technical or business guys. The technical guys actually didn't know a lot about business. The only piece of business they would know about was the application they were supporting, the function they were supporting. They knew the business process of that. But if you ask them about the perspective on the industry, where these applications are headed, what's on the future, how does the business happen in this, what are the top customers or companies in this space, they would really not know. Today, my strong belief is that if you want to succeed in the IT services and the tech business, you must understand the industry and the domain you're working for. Healthcare, telecom, manufacturing. Try and learn about that industry properly. Try and understand how the business takes place in that. What are the major business processes within this industry? Become someone who understands the domain properly and who can actually bring their technology expertise and domain expertise together. The third thing is becoming a part of a business function. Somebody is in coding, they are continuing to move into that lane. Somebody is into testing, they continue to move in that lane. Somebody into analysis, they continue to be an analyst. My advice is to find where you are most comfortable and where your aspirations are. If you want to be a person who wants to move from technical to an executive or a leadership type of an area, chart your path. Align yourself to one of the business functions where you see your future. The biggest issue I see with a lot of people is that they will let their current role, current job, current customer, and the wind of change drive them into different directions. Even in some cases, those are not the directions they want to be. So be very intentional, align yourself to the domain and the business function where you want to be in the future, where you see best prosperity, the transferability of your skills, and invest time in that. Here is an example. Even if you do some production support work today, in the future, you want to go into cybersecurity, you want to become an analyst of cybersecurity, start aligning your learnings to that function. Start learning about cybersecurity. Start learning about the role of analyst. Start learning about how AI is going to be playing a role in the cybersecurity analyst's job. Start spending some time on the sidelines on those areas. Do not expect that the production support path what you are taking today will automatically take you where you want to go. Nobody has any benefit in moving you out of your swim lane except you. Now comes the number 4 point, which is the soft skills. If you asked this question to me 10 years back, I may have given a similar answer, but this has become very, very, very critical in today's time. Number 1 in the soft skill is the communication skills. 10 years back, 15 years back, when I started my career, a lot of the technical guys thought my work is to come in, give some technical advice, create an architecture, and get lost. Do something else. They saw that to be the highest value work they were doing. But today, you can be the best architect. If you cannot communicate your ideas, if you cannot document your ideas that people can consume, you are almost worth nothing. Today is the day and age of showing and telling. One of the best examples, if you want to see how to communicate and spread your ideas, is to look at AWS's technical blog. This is one of my go-to blogs, and in fact, I have published a couple of pieces on that blog also. It shows you the power of spreading ideas. For every industry, every solution where AWS is able to expand its services, there is a blog written about it. They are basically trying to democratize knowledge. It also builds credibility for somebody who publishes on that. So, even within your community, make sure that you know how to communicate your ideas. I can tell you 20 different things in the heading of soft skills, but my number 2 most important thing is adaptability and the ability to learn. Look, today the industry is changing so fast that the biggest skill what you have is the ability to adapt to these changes. 20 years back, 30 years back, people were building projects and applications and technology which was not changing so rapidly. Most of the projects, if you remember, they would take 3 years, 5 years implementation timeframes to actually get. That is not the reality today. We are actually crossing over from SaaS to a more advanced solution. We are already seeing the culmination of AI into business and enterprise applications. So, the number one thing within this chaotic and ever transforming environment is your ability to adapt, to learn, to understand what is happening, and quickly figure out and be able to communicate that, to be able to try these new things out quickly. DeepSense released their new model, which has taken the whole world by surprise. This is the time, if you are within the data science and machine learning space, you should be able to pull their model and start trying out and running on your machine. That is the kind of environment we live in. My last sincere piece of advice to all of you is going to be to understand how your particular company works. And this is a big deal also. Today's environment, even IT service companies and technology companies are also unsure of where the future is. Their strategies are changing also. Very large and sound companies like Slalom, which always talked about their culture, had to let go of people in 2024 because ultimately it's a business. So, for you to be successful in your role, it's not enough that you just focus on the work you do. You also have to keep your eyes and ears open on what your company's vision is. Are they doing the right things? Are you seeing red flags in the way they've been operating with the customers? Because end of the day, it is going to play a big role in your own success. If your company goes down, before they do that, they will make every attempt to make sure that they survive. And you don't want to be on the chopping block when that happens. So make sure that you understand the environment of your company and understand the expectations from your role, expectation what your bosses and leaders have. Help them in that and keep your ears and eyes open. This is extremely important so that you can continue to be prosperous and do well in your role. That's it for now. All the 5 steps which I talked about, I'm putting them on the screen right now as a summary so you can take a snapshot. I would suggest pause the video, take a screenshot of this, take a personal assessment of where you are and where your stretch goals are. Where would you like to invest more time? If you have any question, if you have any need for guidance or coaching to be successful, reach out to me. Happy to help. Cheers.